Hello, and thanks for joining this week's TAL Update. I'm Dr. Joe Poyman, Executive Director of Texas Alliance for Life. Both the Democratic National Convention and the Republican National Convention have ended. We now have their nominees for the November general election ballot. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump and Mike Pence. How did each convention articulate their nominees' positions on the abortion issue? Those who spoke at the Democratic National Convention did their best to steer clear of this topic. During all 4 days, hardly anything was said at all on the abortion issue. Perhaps that's because the organizers of the Democratic National Convention believe they lose voters when they articulate the extreme position of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Legal abortion through all 9 months of pregnancy, funded by taxpayers. Kamala Harris stuck her toe in the water on the topic when she said that, quote, Black, Latino, and indigenous peoples are suffering and dying disproportionately from COVID-19, close quote. She attributed this to, among other things, the, quote, injustice in reproductive and maternal health care, close quote. While the logic here is hard to follow and questionable at best, what it sounds like Senator Harris is attributing COVID-19 deaths to is a lack of access to abortion. In stark contrast to the silence and misguidance we saw at the DNC, the Republican National Convention was the most outwardly pro-life national convention in the history of our nation. The speakers at the RNC were vocal in their advocacy for life. Perhaps this is because we currently have the most assertive pro-life president in history. And perhaps they believe the pro-life position earns, not loses votes. Here are just a few of the key pro-life quotes shared at the event. Ben Carson, U.S. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. What is racist is the fact that African Americans have the highest abortion rate. President Trump is the most pro-life president in the country's history. He will continue to fight for those who cannot yet speak. Lou Holtz, noted football coach at several universities, including Notre Dame. One of the most important reasons he has my trust is because nobody has been a stronger advocate for the unborn than President Trump. The Joe Biden, Kamala Harris ticket is the most radically pro-abortion campaign in history. Catholic sister Deirdre Byrne, MD. Donald Trump is the most pro-life president that this nation has ever had, defending life at all stages. His belief in the sanctity of life transcends politics. President Trump will stand up against Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, who are the most anti-life presidential ticket ever, even supporting the horrors of late-term abortion and infanticide. Tara Myers, the mother of a son with Down syndrome who was told she should abort him. I knew my baby was a human being created by God, and that made him worthy of life. I am thankful that President Trump values the life of the unborn. Abby Johnson, former Planned Parenthood abortion facility director. Did you know abortion even had a smell? I've been the perpetrator of these babies, these women. I now support President Donald Trump because he's done more for the unborn than any other president. Marsha Blackburn, U.S. Senator from Tennessee. They're closing our churches, but keep the liquor stores and abortion clinics open. Vice President Mike Pence. President Donald Trump has stood without apology for the sanctity of human life every day of his administration. And finally, Joe Biden claims he has empathy for the vulnerable, yet the party he leads supports the extreme late-term abortion of defenseless babies right up to the moment of birth. Democratic leaders talk about moral decency, but they have no problem with stopping a baby's beating heart in the 9th month of pregnancy. Democratic politicians refuse to protect innocent life, and then they lecture us about morality and saving America's soul. Tonight, we proudly declare that all children, born and unborn, have a God-given right to life. President Donald J. Trump. There is no gray area on the life issue for President Donald Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. They told us exactly where they stand at the convention, and in my opinion, they hit a home run. This is why we proudly endorse him for President of the United States for 4 more years. Be sure to check out our pro-life voter guide at prolifevoterguide.org to view all the Texas Alliance for Life endorsed candidates and voting locations for your area. That's prolifevoterguide.org. This is a critical election year, and it is vital that we get out and vote and let our voices be heard on this issue. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next week.